Well, good day, everyone. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Isaiah 66. Now, I just did a video the other day about this woman who's in labor. I'm sorry, that before her pain came on, she delivered a son. And we talked about that possibly being Jupiter coming out of the womb of the of Virgo on September 9th or sometime thereof. But I want to dig deeper into what it says down here in the later verses in Isaiah 66. But before I do that, I just want to quickly speak about the fact that I spent some time in China a few weeks ago, and I asked every person I saw. I was there on work. I asked every person that I got to meet who was not work related if they knew who Jesus was, and they had no idea for the most part. I might have asked 20 people. Basically, about 8 out of 10 had no clue who Jesus was. I thought to myself, how is this going to happen? How can he come, the Lord come, and do all this stuff, and nobody knows who he is? It's just mind-boggling how this is all going to play out. Okay, so I got my answer, and you guys probably heard this theme from me in the past, but let's start taking up Isaiah 66. I don't have a study document. You just got to follow through with me here. Okay, so you can read about this. For Zion was in labor, she gave birth to her children. It seems like this woman, this she who was in labor, is Zion, and the folks that are born are the children, they're the sons of Zion. I talked about that being the Revelation 14 group. I showed you in that the fourth Ezra book, or Esdras, second Esdras, where it talks about a woman, Zion, who has her children, and the Lord is there putting crowns on their heads. Okay, so look what it says here. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come in fire, and his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger and fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire the Lord will enter into judgment, and by his sword with all flesh. And those slain by the Lord shall be many." So this is what it's going to be like when he comes. It's not going to be some exciting event for the world, for the most part, for the lukewarm and the non-believers. It's going to be sheer hell on earth. We see this same thing in Psalm 50. Our God comes, do not keep silent. For before him is a devouring fire, all around him a mighty tempest. He calls to the heavens above and to the earth, that he may judge his people. And the first thing he says when he shows up with all this sheer calamity and chaos in the skies going on, what does he say? First thing, "Gather to me my faithful ones, who made a covenant with me by sacrifice." That would be the living sacrifice in Romans chapter 12. Okay, so back to Isaiah 66. Now look what it says here. So as he comes with all this fire, this is confusing here. I spent some time trying to figure out what did this mean. So it says, those, whoever those are, those who sanctify and purify themselves. What does that mean? It sounds like the good guys. But listen, those who sanctify and purify themselves go into the gardens, following one in the midst, eating pig's flesh and the abomination, and mice shall come to an end together, declares the Lord. For I know their works and their thoughts, and the time is coming to gather all the nations and tongues. But go back to this right here. Verse 17, they're going to follow one in the midst into a garden, eating pig's flesh and the abomination. I thought about this for a long time. I don't know what that means. I do have a sense, though. The guy who's going to do the abomination, the guy who's going to carry out the abomination, we know who he is. I speculated that this guy is going to do this in this temple. Where is this temple? It's in the United States. It's in Ephraim. Ephraim was the lead tribe in Israel. This is Israel. This is the temple in Israel. People don't want to see that, but we have a temple in Israel right now. It's right here. And that one day, after the chaos strikes, somebody did this political cartoon. This political cartoon had a lot of meaning. The Obama Memorial. This is where he's going to carry out his abomination. I've talked about this before. Sister Barb had this prophetic word on February 9th. She was able to listen in to the inauguration speech of the beast. Listen to what the beast says, what the Lord told her. And the Lord allowed her to hear it. And look what it says. He's been placed here in this position by you to bring order out of chaos. That's when the calamity strikes and the fire comes. To unite this world and this nation. He even quotes Jesus Christ. This is quoting Christ and his favorite president, Abraham Lincoln. So we do have a temple in the USA. So I think there are going to be people who follow Obama into this temple and just latch on to his. Here they are. These are the people that follow Obama into the gardens. It'll be the Rose Garden at the White House. Into the midst, eating pig's flesh and in the abomination. They shall all come to an end together. That's who I think that is. I think there's actually the word temple in here. Yeah. The sound of the uproar in the city, a sound from the temple. Then she's in labor. Okay. Let me jump back down to here. Now look what it says here. This is where it gets interesting. Remember I was telling you about, I was over in China. Basically 80% of the people did not appear to even know who Jesus was. They didn't know it. So how can they come to believe? So look what it says here. For I know their works and their thoughts, and their time is coming to gather all the nations and tongues. And they shall come and see my glory, and I will set a sign among them. A sign among them. Where have we heard that before? The Lord's going to set a sign among them. Okay, here's a sign of the Emmanuel before Jesus was born. Way before, the Lord told the prophet Isaiah, 700 BC, therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. This is his first coming. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and his name shall be Emmanuel. So the first time that he came, a virgin bore a child. A sign. Where have we heard about a sign and a Virgo? And a great sign appeared in heaven. A virgin, a woman, a Virgo, clothed in the sun, with the moon at her feet, crown of 12. She was pregnant, cried out, birth pains and agony, giving birth. A sign. Here's that sign. It's the same thing over and over again. What has been done, what will be done. There was nothing new under heaven. This is the virgin having a son. Except this son is the man-child. This is the 144,000 in my opinion. Okay. See how that works out? See how this is all tied together? A sign. This is back to Isaiah 66. Okay. And from them, the people, the nations that are gathered, from them I will send survivors. Actually, this word be people who escape. And from them I will send survivors or escapees to the nations all over the world who draw the bow, to the coastlands far away, that have not heard of my glory or fame. So in China, they haven't heard of his glory or his fame. But he's going to send people who escape. Remember Jesus says in Luke 21, pray that you may have the strength to escape all these things. These escapees, where do they escape to? Well, they escape to here. Who are all the escapees? Revelation 7. And I looked, and behold, a great multitude that no one could number, from every nation, of all the tribes and peoples and languages, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes. These are the ones who escape. Revelation 7. This is right after the rapture of those who were faithful. A great multitude that no one could number, from every nation and tribe and peoples and language, standing before the throne, before the Lamb. This is the people that escape. He's going to send these people all over the world, to the coastlands far away, who have not heard of his glory, and they shall declare my glory among the nations. They shall be the harvest workers who bring your brothers from all the nations as an offering to the Lord on horses and chariots and in litters and on mules to my holy mountain in Jerusalem. Just as the Israelites bring their grain to the house of the Lord. And the Lord says, I will take some of them to be priests, maybe priests in the order of Melchizedek, and then priests to be Levites. For as the new heavens and the new earth shall remain before me, says the Lord. So shall your offspring and your name remain. From new moon to new moon, and from Sabbath to Sabbath, all flesh shall come and worship me. And you look at this now. This is confusing. And they shall go out and look on the dead bodies of the men who have rebelled against me. For the worm shall never die, their fire shall not be quenched. So after all this, new heavens and new earth, and the glory is sent out, and all these people are brought in, other people should go out and look on these dead bodies of the men who rebelled against me. Where do we see dead bodies all over the place? Let's go to Ezekiel 39. Oh, and all the people of the land shall bury them. Well, let's go backwards a little bit. So this is Gog attacking Israel. Right? The little boy Nathan thought that Obama was Gog. And there will be a multitude will be buried in the land. All the people of the land shall bury them. And it will bring them renown on that day, that I will show my glory. There's that showing that glory again. And how long will they be burying these guys? Okay. They will send out these people to look for these dead bodies. Look what it says. Hold on a minute. Let me look for this. They will be set apart to travel. Okay. Then there's going to be people that are going to go out looking for these dead bodies to bury them. Just as it says in Isaiah 66. So, somehow, Ezekiel 39 and Isaiah 66 are connected. Okay. With that, guys, let's see what I've gone through here. Yeah. Okay. Revelation 21 speaks of this new heaven and new earth, which we see in here. Somehow that's connected. So Isaiah 66 is the 66th book or chapter in the prophet Isaiah. Okay. The Bible has 66 books. What's the last book of the Bible? Revelation. What do we see in Revelation? Talks about a new heaven and a new earth. So somehow Revelation and Isaiah 66 are connected. They're also connected with Ezekiel 33 about showing this glory. So it just seems like how all this is going to end it's just confusing. You can see bits and pieces from the book, from the scriptures. So with that, guys, I'll let you go. Study Isaiah 66, Psalm 50, Ezekiel 39. They're all connected. Isaiah 7, this sign. And Revelation 7, the very first great rescue and rapture of the church. They're all going to be sent out. With that, guys, have a good day. God bless you.